Good morning, everyone. I am Professor Shrikala Kanade from Department of Printing Technology. On behalf of PVG COET and GK Patewani Institute of Management, I welcome you all for today's induction program. So today I'm going to talk about gender equity. So what is gender equity? In today's session, what we are going to look at, we are going to see what is gender equity, early age discrimination, equal opportunities in workspace, disruptive practices in research, difference between gender equity and gender equality, how to promote gender equity in our day-to-day life. Okay, so let's begin. So first, what is gender? Right? So gender is used to describe the characteristics of men and women that are socially constructed, while sex refers to those that are biologically determined. It influences how people perceive themselves and each other and how they act and interact with each other. Gender is something which is done, accomplished, or performed rather than something which is. Any seeming stability depends on the recreation or repetitive performance of a gender. Okay, so once the baby is conceived in mother's womb, that time only it is decided whether it is going to be a male child or a female child. Okay, so once the baby is born, so it is either a male child or a female child. Okay, but if the male child is born, automatically the parents, the relatives, the society that child is going to live in, they start treating that baby as a boy or as and which is going to be become a man one day. Okay, and similarly, if a female child is born, her surroundings and her upbringing is made in such a way that she turns into a girl and then turns into a woman, though they are biologically different, but the social construct institution also plays an important role for a child to understand whether he is a boy or she is a girl. Okay, so the male child and female child is upbringing is brought up as a boy and a girl, and later they get treated as a man and a woman. So that is a basic hierarchy of how a child is converted into a boy and child is converted into a girl. Okay, so what exactly is gender equity, right? So we know that boy and girl are different, right? So they have different needs, they have different interests, they have different agendas or different thought process, but still we are very lacking in gender equity because we don't understand that they both are equal. At the end of the day, every human being is equal irrespective of their gender, and that's why gender equity is a very hot topic in today's world, because we have to give equal rights to each and every individual irrespective of their gender. So what is gender equity? The quality of being fair or impartial. Even if we have to be impartial to someone, to give them some resources or some extra maybe some additional support, so that is equal because you want that person to grow or you want that person to be to achieve success in his or her life, right? The second part of gender equity is providing resources according to individual needs, and third part is equity is not as simple as you think, or it is not easy to achieve as you can achieve equality. So why it is so and how equality and equity is different than each other, that we are going to see in next few slides. Okay, so to start with, first is we are going to see about what a early age discrimination starts with. Okay, so as I told you, like when a child is born, it is a male child or a female child, right? But once the doctor announces that a girl is born or a boy is born, so definitely their parents and their relatives starts to bring the toys or bring the clothes or treat them in that particular manner how they will treat a girl or a boy, right? So from very early age we start to unknowingly we start to discriminate boy and girl according to their clothes and the toys and colors that they are seeing, or the way in which we are handling the kids. So based on that, we are going to see a quick small video which is documentary by BBC, which talks about girls' toys versus boys' toys. So here we go. So what they have done, they have just changed the clothes. The boy is wearing a girl's clothes and a girl is wearing a boy's clothes. And they have been asked, some volunteers are asked to take care of them for some period of time.
Look at this. Look at this. Do you like a dolly? Should we go for the dolly? There's a good girl. You're a good little girl, aren't you, Sophie? Look, what does this say? Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams. Ooh, look at this, Sophie.
So just because she's wearing a
Sweet dreams. Ooh, look at this, Sophie. Meow, meow. I think she liked that pink dolly the best.
If I were to tell you actually that Sophie is Edward,
Does
that change anything?
I maybe thought, oh, this is a little girl, so I have to give her little girl things.
Hello. 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 Come on.
What's this one? What's that one do? Is that a robot? What about this? You like that one? What does this one do? Oliver. Oliver.
You've gone for, you could say, boy toys for this boy.
Possibly in my subconscious, but for me, I was just going for what was around me, but then perhaps my subconscious was automatically playing a trick on me that I was...
If I tell you that he is actually a girl.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting. I suppose it's because of the stereotype.
And then that changed your behaviour towards the child.
It did.
And your behaviour was quite directive.
1, 2, 3. Ah. Beep, 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 beep. Do you want to see my robot?
She's picked up the robot, the car, the puzzle game. And I think she's been much more physical in handling the child than the other adults have been with girls.
That really astounded me because I thought that I was somebody that had a really open mind.
Surprise. So I automatically went for the pink fluffy toy because I said it was a girl, so I was sort of stereotyping.
I've always thought I was rather more open-minded than that, and I would think, you know, these are children's toys, whatever the gender.
It will make me think the next time I'm with a child, so my niece or my nephew, to make sure that I am actually being sort of fair and equal with all of them, and just giving each child an opportunity to just be whoever they are.
Right. So do watch this video on YouTube, No More Boys and Girls, because this has to stop at early age. But unfortunately, it's still a very new concept for us because still we are, not in that mode that, okay, we have to buy different toys for different genders, or, I mean, we still buy doll if we are going to go for a girl's birthday, or a car if we are going to go for a boy's birthday, and this is just not fair with the girls or the boys child. Okay, so moving on, so now we are going to talk about how the disruptive practices are interfering in this entire gender equity issue. Okay, so a term for the way in which a discourse is acted on or circulated within a culture. Here are few examples. Okay, so when a man has to shake hands with another man, so he doesn't mind, right? So he greets another man with shake hand, but refrains to do so when he is greeting a woman. Similarly, holding a door open for a woman is treated as a gentleman spirit, or giving up your seat for a woman is something a gentleman would do. So that is a social pressure a man goes through, even if he himself is not feeling well. Just because of the peer pressure, he has to give up his seat for a lady who is standing next to him. Right. So this is what inequality talks about, or this is what the disruptive practices that we see in our day-to-day life. Similarly, it is being told us, or it is we are seeing this from a very beginning, that a man is the breadwinner in the family and the woman is a caregiver, right? So man has to go out, earn money, and provide that money to a woman in order to run the house, so that woman can take care of the family members and the entire house as well. So this is just a disruptive practices that we have been, growing up with, and this needs to change some or the other way. So as you can see here, all the symbols here, a child is always holding a hand of a woman, right? So whenever all the family is going out, it is only mother who is carrying a child, or only mother is holding the hand of a child. No doubt child is younger, or child is is more close to his or her mother, but still, when you are when you are forcing this image in front of you, so automatically, subconsciously, you feel like, okay, this is a girl's responsibility or a woman's responsibility to take care of a child in day-to-day life. But this is what the gender inequality we are going to talk in a bit now. Or similarly, when we are talking the professions like teaching or presenting or expressing themselves, or maybe a sport, all the emojis or all the icons are male dominated, or you can figure it out that this is not a lady and this is a man, right? So whatever the words used for a teacher or a doctor or a sports person, it always automatically comes to our mind that, okay, maybe they're talking about a man. But unfortunately, this is not correct, and we have to change that perspective about looking at certain professions, and we have to respect men and women equally. Okay, so how the division between work and family affects this entire gender equity terminology. Okay, so in women, whatever the we are going to see some research from how we have come to some conclusions. So in women-oriented research, family issues are main objectives, while in general entrepreneur research, family is non-existent. So in entrepreneurship research, what happens is women become secondary earner and man become a primary earner. So man is represented as a breadwinner, as I said earlier, and woman becomes a caregiver. So whatever just because woman has a family issue, or she doesn't have a family to support, or she doesn't have anybody else to do work, so that's why she's becoming or entrepreneur or start to work. This is what the research all about is talking. In women entrepreneurship research, some authors treat family as an inspiration, but some authors argue that family is a root cause for every people, right? So when researchers study about how the women entrepreneurs enter into the business or start their own business, so there are only two reasons. One is they have a support from family, or the second one is they have a problem in the family, and that's why they have to come up and start their own business. So that is very impartial behavior or impartial study towards women. So several studies have investigated that what extent a family is an impediment for a woman who start or run a business. So it is not always because of a family problem a woman would start a business, right? It could be her own a dream, or it could be her own willingness to start the business. But when it comes to research about entrepreneurship, these things are blindly ignored. So when we are talking about the responsibilities, so responsibility in family, so men has no responsibility and women are the primary responsible person of the family. So women's responsibility towards family is first, and men, they don't carry any responsibility as far as the family is concerned. Second part is work. Then for men, it becomes a primary responsibility, and for women, it becomes a secondary responsibility. So after finishing all their primary responsibilities, if they have time, then only they will go out and do work or find their own business, right? So at the end, what we are saying is that only one responsibility men has, that is to work, and women has two responsibilities, that they have to take care of the family as well, plus they have to go and work if they have time or if they want, right? So men and women cannot compete on equal terms in the same line of business, because of the researchers do not promote or do not treat women entrepreneurs as equal as men entrepreneurs. The disruptive practice reinforces that women's business is secondary. So all the researchers have assumed that, okay, woman is a secondary income source of the family, and that's why we can, keep the woman research on women entrepreneurship as a secondary goal, because working woman is a secondary thing. The another research was about the words that are being used as a to define entrepreneurship or to define entrepreneur. So entrepreneur and entrepreneurship have masculine connotations according to several authors. Several scholars maintains that women entrepreneurs were made invisible in research. In various research, it has been stated as the emerging image is that of a heroic self-made man. Okay, often entrepreneurs is described as a masculine word. So if you can see here, so a definition of entrepreneur is what? Self-centered, resolute, detached, right? So these are all the masculine words according to BEM's dictionary, right? So opposite to all these entrepreneurship words, so opposite to self-centered is dependent, resolute, opposite of resolute is cautious, opposite of detached is connected, right? And synonyms of those words in BEM's feminine dictionary is loyal, gentle, sensitive, affectionate, and compassionate, right? So all these feminine words are opposite to the definition of entrepreneur, right? So that is why all the researchers are using the masculine words such as self-centered, resolute, detached, and while doing that research, they're ignoring the terms which are more feminine, but those who are opposite to the woman, they are opposite to feminine word that they are using in the research, and automatically the reader thinks, okay, this research is about men and it is male dominated field, and entrepreneurs are not women, it is a male dominated field. It is psychologically, it is, told to the reader. The conclusion drawn is that entrepreneur is a masculine concept and it is not gender neutral. In reality, it is a neutral profession, that whether it could be a male or female, man and woman, both are both can equally handle a very well business, but the researchers have to improve on their research findings and consider women entrepreneurs in their research as well. So now come the next part is so now we have seen how the researchers are impartial towards women research, women entrepreneurs or working women. So now we are going to see about how the discrimination at workspace also happens. Okay, the another small video that we are going to see here.
Jeg heter Selma. Og jeg heter Martin. Jeg heter Ask. Jeg heter Victoria. Jeg heter Lars. Og jeg heter Felicia.
Nå har jeg en liten jobb til dere. Jeg tenkte at dere skulle putte de blå ballene i den ene vasen og de rosa i den andre.
So both the children have asked to put the blue box in one, blue balls in one container and pink balls in another container. So it's a teamwork. Children understood that it's a teamwork. So they automatically started working and they enjoyed working
together. Nå skal dere få belønningen deres.
Oi. Hva dette for noe? Hva dette for noe?
Ok, nå kan dere åpne øynene.
Oi! Hva? Jeg fikk litt mer.
Molly, grunnen til at du har fått mindre enn Thomas, det er faktisk fordi du er jente.
Det er kjemperart. Det er ikke bra. Det er skikkelig urettferdig.
Hva tenker du, Felicia?
Jeg jobbet helt litt, og så får vi ikke det samme. Vi var like flinke, og vi burde få like mye.
Hvorfor det?
Fordi ellers så blir det urettferdig. Det er liksom ikke forskjell på jente og gutt, da. Jeg tenker at det er feil.
Hvorfor er det feil?
Jenter er ikke mindre verdt enn gutter. Det har ikke noe å si hvis man er gutt eller jente. Sånn, jeg tror det er like mye nå. Nei. Nå har vi like mye. Nå har vi like mye.
So in work or at Workspace, we see that many women get paid less, right? It is a harsh reality, but we have to, we have to change that. And there are some steps that are being taken worldwide to improve the pay scale for women. There is a lot of work going on in this field. Okay, so now if we move on, so now we have seen that is inequality. So to understand more about what is inequality, so it is nothing but individuals have unequal access to the resources, right? So if you can see in the image on the left, so there are number of animals standing on the starting position, and the man who is going to take their exam or going to give them a task, what he's saying, for a fair selection, everybody has to take same exam, please climb that tree, right? So as you can see, only monkey is happy because monkey can easily climb that tree, right? But the penguin, the elephant, the fish, the eel, and the dog, they are completely incapable of climbing the tree. No matter how much hard they try, they are not going to climb the tree. So are we going to talk about equality here? So obviously not, right? So when you are talking about equality, one has to understand the abilities, the responsibilities, the capabilities of the individual, and then set the goals, and then help them to achieve their goals or to make them successful. Okay, so basically inequality is nothing but you cannot compare mango to apple just to understand which fruit tastes better. It is as simple as that. You always have to compare apples to apples and mangoes to mangoes, and then you can decide which one is better. Okay, so inequality is the starting point to realize that okay, we have to achieve the equality. First you have to understand that we are unequal or we are unequal, and then we can start changing our minds towards equality. Okay, so what is gender equality? So now we have understood inequality, that we have to go and give everybody a equal right. So there comes the gender equality. So what equality talks about? The state or a quality of being equal. Okay, so you have to treat each and every individual equally, corresponding in quantity, degree, value, rank, and ability. Just because she is a woman, she'll get less pay, or just because he's a man, he's going to get more money, or just because he's a boy in the house, he'll study higher, he'll go for higher studies, and just she's a girl, she'll just graduate and that's it. So that kind of thing, that it has to change. Plus gender equality talks about how to allocate exact resources that each person needs to achieve a success. Okay, so this is what a gender equality talks about, like giving everybody equal in terms so that they can achieve their own success. Okay, but so equality means each individual or group of people is given the same resources or opportunities to become successful in their life, right? So main aim of today's word is equality, that no matter what gender they are, what race they are, what from which social economic background they are coming from, they all should get equal opportunities and same resources so that they all become successful. This is the main basic of equality. Okay, so we are going to see some examples of equality now. So as you can see, three friends are watching a baseball game. Three of them are being provided with the same stool. The other example is a ladder and an apple tree and two boys. The boys want to fetch some apples from that tree, and that's why they have been given a same resource of an equally heighted ladder. And in third picture, we are going to see the example of a bike riders or a cycle riders. The cycle is given to all the four different people. Okay, but obviously I'm sure you must have understood there is something wrong with all these pictures, right? Let's suppose the first example, as we are seeing, the boy who is standing on the right, the tallest of all, doesn't require a stool to watch the match, right? But the boy on the left, which is the shorter in height, needs more access or more resources to stand up and watch the game. Similarly, in the apple tree example, both the boys have same height, same ladder height, and their own height is also equal. But unfortunately, apples are more on the right side, right? So then how that left-sided boy is going to get apples? He's still in the needy state, or he is not able to achieve or he is not able to fetch the apples that he would have, right? So that is something we need to work upon. Similarly, in the third image, if you can see, the cycle is same, right? Whether it is given to a kid, whether it is given to a woman, whether it is given to a man, or whether it is given to a handicapped person. Okay, but then how they are going to ride the bicycle? It is difficult for a child, a man, and a handicapped person to ride that bike. Only a woman can enjoy the bike ride, given the specific bike if we give them. So it is, you are unfair. You are talking about equality, but you are unfair in giving the resources for everybody to achieve the success or have a good quality life or a success in their life. Okay, so equality is only achieved if we treat everybody, or if we understand the equity part of it, right? Equality is achieved only through by means of equity. So what equity is all about? Again, coming back to our example. So equality and equity are not synonyms of each other, right? They are not similar. They are completely different. Equality is very easy or very simple to achieve, but equity is not easy to achieve at all, right? So the words equality and equity are often confused because at a glance they appear to mean the same thing. They both have to do with the way people are treated, and both are used in the fields of law, government, economics, education, and so on. Often those terms are used to describe actions, laws, or rules that are attempting to end or oppose injustice or unfair treatment of people. However, equality and equity, as noted above, are not synonyms, and the methods used to achieve them are often very different and very difficult from each other. Okay, so now we are going to see some examples for equity. Okay, so equity is as same example as the last thing. So equity is nothing but giving extra to the person who needs more. Okay, so you are giving a same stool, you are giving no stool to the taller man and giving two stools to the shorter man, so that they all three can enjoy the match of baseball. Similarly, if you give a higher ladder to the kid on the right, so that he can reach to more height and fetch apples for himself, so you are giving more ladder height, so you are giving more favor to that particular child in order for him to get at least few apples, right? Similarly, if you give all the people, all the if you give them bikes according to their height, then obviously four of them are going to enjoy the bike ride. So if you give a small bike to a kid, then a regular bike to a woman, a tall bike for a man, and a special handicapped bike for a handicapped person, then all four are going to enjoy, and all four are going to, experience that success in their respective tasks of maybe going from one place to other. So this is what the gender equity talks about. So equity leads to equality. Okay, so equity is nothing but the way you achieve the equality. So how? So it starts from the basic education, right? So you have to have equal access to education for all kind of gender. So it is not only boys or not only men. There are certain cities or certain countries where women education is not treated as important as a boy or a man's education, but this has to change. Similarly, equal treatment before the law. Right now, in many countries, law is more partial to women so that they can empower. But slowly, that is also changing, and the law is becoming equal for each and every individual, irrespective whether they are man or a woman. Similarly, equal access to social provisions, so voters' right or a loan right or any mortgage rights. It is not only men's responsibility, but women can also avail a loan, or they can also do a voting, and they can also get national security numbers and there is a social provision. They can vouch out for their own opinions, and their opinion also matters. Similarly, equal engagement in workspace. Just because she's a woman, she'll do less work, and just because he's a man, he'll do more work. So that things has to be changed in order to achieve equality. So in our daily life, how can we achieve this equity? So first thing is, if I'm sure you must have seen this ad on TV many times, that girl is thinking about why mummy hamesha kitchen mein khana banati rehti hai, why she is always in the kitchen. The lady, the small girl, is thinking about her mother, whether mother is a good dancer and she enjoys dancing, but because of cooking she can't spend time, or she doesn't have time to give for her dancing skills. So what Gemini is saying to promote gender equity, that whatever the food you are cooking, it keeps it stays fresh for longer time, so now you can enjoy your own me time. That is a gender equity. So even if you are preparing your meal for family and you want your family to feed a healthy meal, so you can reduce your cooking time and you can still enjoy your own time. So that is what this ad is talking about, that ab hai mummy ka time, right? So this is what they are focusing into. Followed by, this is a Nirma Advance ad which features Hrithik Roshan. So what this ad shows, like, washing clothes, it's not only a woman's responsibility, right? So a man can also take a responsibility of washing clothes and doing some housework in order to promote gender equity, so that we can have a common platform for men and women to do better things in life or have achieved a success in their life. Similarly, moving on to the few next examples, if you can remember this ad, a child is sick, mother is on she's a pilot, so she's working, so dad has to take care of the child, and dad assures mom that, okay, I'm here, so I'm taking care of our child, so you don't have to worry, you focus on your job. So that is also promoting gender equity. Plus, the government has taken the initiative in India for Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Abhiyan, so where they are promoting in rural areas to send girls to schools and give them a basic right of education. Once they are educated, let them decide what they want to do in their life, how much they want to study, and where they want to go in their life. So that is, it starts from the household of a very rural areas. And this is another very famous ad of the Boost, that is Secret of My Energy. The girl wants to bowl to Dhoni and she surprises Dhoni with her bowling skills. So this is what it's the sports also. So the sports, the education, the profession you are in. So everybody, everywhere now, the gender equity is playing a major part in order to achieve the equality. So to conclude, what we are going to see. So first we have to understand the inequality in our own work culture or in our day-to-day life. What is unequal? Where the inequality is standing, right? As you can see, similar to the first image, both the boys are very small to fetch the trees. So that is unequal. You cannot ask the boys to climb the trees or get the apples from the tree. Okay, so that is, we have identified this inequality. So now we have to achieve the equality. So what we are going to do, we are going to give the ladder to those children and ask them to climb the ladder in order to fetch that or grab those apples, right? But children on the right, he is having more apples, and child on the left is still wondering how I can reach to the apple because the tree is tilted, right? So how are you going to achieve the equity in that case? So you are going to give a higher ladder to the child on the right, so that he can get to more height to get access to the fruit and get successful in the task of picking the apples, right? But this thing, it is clear, this is, we all agree, right? But what happens is, the correct measure is to create a justice. So how are you going to create a justice? Is by putting the ropes and the rods in the tree in such a way that the tree is growing in a straight line, right? It is not bending to one side, right? So justice comes only when you identify there is an inequity, then you have to follow the equality, and then you have to attain that equality through equity, and then you have to promote justice by creating by rectifying whatever the wrongdoings are happening in or around your world. Okay, so to conclude, lastly, what we are going to see that gender equity between men and women does not mean that women and men have to become same, but that their rights, responsibilities, and opportunities will not depend on whether they were born male or female. So all the people will have a same rights, same responsibilities, and same opportunities to grow, irrespective whether they are man or a woman or a male or a female. Gender equity means fairness of treatment for men and women according to their respective needs. This may include equal treatment or treatment that is different but which is considered equivalent in terms of rights, benefits, obligations, and opportunities. So what equity concludes is, even if you have to give some extra resource, or if you have to be impartial with your colleagues or impartial with your employees, it is perfectly okay if you want to achieve equality. Right? It is no harm or it is no wrong if you identify that this employee or this resource needs more help or more training or more, they need something extra in order to achieve or accomplish their job or to achieve success in their life. So equity tells that you give them what they need, irrespective of whether they are man or a woman. So this is and this is a definition was given by United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. So I hope you have understood today's topic, that is gender equity, and you'll start observing those things in and around you. And if at all you come across the thing that some people are not being equal or not treating everybody equal, you can raise your voice and start changing the society, because the change starts with you. So thank you for listening. Once again, I congratulate you all for securing admission in PVG COET, and on behalf of all the faculties and the staff members at PVG, I welcome you all, and I hope you enjoy your 4 years of engineering. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hi, students. Welcome to your FE induction, and a very happy new year. Wish you all a superb year ahead. And today's presentation is on a women's grievance cell. It is a very short presentation giving you information about how the working of the women's grievance cells happens. This cell is mandatory and has been and is required by All India Council for Technical Education, that is AICTE. So it is a mandatory body of AICTE. And what I would like to explain to you here is what are the various objectives of the grievance redressal cell. What are the steps in which, if you have a complaint, how you would like to raise it? And third is what are the who are the various committee members of this cell? Now, as I said, this is a mandatory cell or mandatory committee, and it is important that this should be available in every college. Sometimes what happens that there are girls students or women employees which may face certain cases of complaints or cases of harassment in their workplace or while they are studying. And then it is important that there has to be certain cell or committee which addresses to such complaints. So the first objective of this redressal cell is that it will be dealing with cases or complaints of sexual harassment and any other type of harassment of the female students, teaching and non-teaching staff of the college. The cell shall process all the individual complaints and take immediate suitable action. So it is important that not only just take the complaints, but there has to be a redressal. So there has to be a suitable action taken. So that is the purpose of the redressal cell. The cell will also provide assistance to our to this college for taking preventive steps in matter of gender discrimination and sexual harassment. So it means that if we need to take certain preventive steps in these two areas, those shall also be taken by the redressal cell. Then this cell will also form or review the guidelines or the policy for redressal of the grievance as required from time to time. So sometimes what happens that over a period of time there has to be a change in the policy. There has to be certain reviewing of the guidelines which were given by this committee. So from time to time that could be reviewed also, and this can be changed. So it may be in accordance with those issued by Supreme Court and the government agencies. So as per these, primarily as per these two bodies, if there is any requirement to change the policy for redressal of grievance, that can also be done. So what is the procedure? Any women employee or the female student will have the right to lodge a complaint concerning sexual harassment against a male student or the employee of the institute by writing a letter or putting the complaint in the principal's office. So the complaint will be afforded full confidentiality at this stage. So no one will be informed, no one will be told except the committee members. After receiving the complaint, the chairman of this committee shall convene the meeting of the cell. Okay, so there are various members in the cell. So after receiving any complaint, the chairman of this committee will call for the meeting. Then the chairman will appoint investigation committee and the coordinator will convene the meetings. And the investigation committee shall then decide the course of action to proceed. Okay, so the chairman shall call for the meeting, then a committee shall be appointed to investigate, and then the investigation committee shall then decide the course of action to proceed. Following are the names of the committee members, and these members of Women Grievance Cell are representing all the branches. The first name, Professor MP Mahajan, that is myself, Madhura Mahajan, and I am the chairman of this committee, and I represent from printing department. Then we have Professor Manisha Marathe, ma'am, she is from computer department. Then we have Professor Anjali Wagmali, ma'am, she is from applied science department. Then we have Professor S.A. Deshpande, ma'am, she is from IT department. We have Professor Khatri, ma'am, she is from electrical department. Professor Ami Barot, ma'am, she is from mechanical department. And Professor Somani, ma'am, who's the member secretary, she is from electronics and telecommunication branch. So you can approach any of these members, or you can directly, as mentioned in the presentation, raise your complaint, if any, to the principal office as well. So I hope we all don't come across such complaints, but however, in case if there is any such situation, any girl student is facing, please do not hesitate to contact us, and it will be we will always try to make sure that the grievance cell will give also address the complaint at the earliest. So thanking you and wish you all the very best. And I hope you all have a great time at the PVG COET GK Part A1 Institute of Management in whichever stream that you have taken admission in. All the best. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, I am Professor Mrs. Sangeeta Baukar, working as Assistant Professor in ENTC department from last 11 years. I have handled various college level and department level portfolios. Girls Empowerment Cell is one of the college level portfolio which I am handling as a main coordinator. Girls Empowerment Cell, prior known as Vidyarthini Manch, PVG COET and GKPIM, works to nurture the hidden talent in the girl students by organizing various events that helps to strengthen the confidence, build the nature and also enhance the professional potentials. Girls Empowerment Cell works for overall personality development of girl students. For that, GEC organizing different program under the Nirbhay Kanya scheme. Nirbhay Kanya scheme is the scheme of SWS Savitribai Phule Pune University. The scheme is introduced by the Savitribai Phule Pune University to develop the self-confidence and personality of girl students who have rural background or come from deprived section of society. The main objectives of this scheme are to develop critical mind, self-confidence and commitment to society. The girl students are given training in health, law and social activity. There are also given training in self-employment and all possible other activity that enhance their self-confidence. This scheme is open to all regular girl students. Objectives of these schemes are to develop personality of girl students, to improve self-confidence in the girl students, to guide the girl students regarding the self-employment. A different program under the Girls Empowerment Scheme was organized by our college. Like self-defense program was organized by GEC and the Nirbhay Kanya Abhiyan for the girl students of all department. Trainer of the program was Mr. Sunil Shelar. Savitribai Phule Pune Jayanti celebration with Dr. K.J. Kulkarni Madam and girl students from different department of our college. A seminar on women safety and security by Mrs. Pranita Hazare, Police Sub-Inspector, Dattawadi Police Station, Pune, was organized for the lady staff and the girl students of the college under Nirbhay Kanya Abhiyan scheme, SWS of SPPU. Thoughts for Happy Life online session was arranged by the GEC and Nirbhay Kanya Abhiyan for the lady staff and girl students of all departments. The speaker of this program was Dr. Madhavi Balsare, Assistant Professor, ENTC, PVG COET and GKPIM Pune. From each department, there is one lady faculty coordinator and from each class, one girl student coordinator is there to arrange this type of programs. Interested girls can contact to respective faculty coordinator to work as a student volunteer or can share their ideas of such program. Here is the list of faculty coordinator of various department and their contact details. Thank you for patient listening.